Ah, the French. Ah, the French.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and good night, Twitch chat. And welcome back to Let Us Play. I'm your host, Father Evan. It's good to be back with you today. Good to see you, Brayherd. Good to see you, Bad Rocks. Good to see you, Feeble. Good to see you, Beer Fox. Good to see you, Kit. Good to see you, Gale. I think that's everyone who's here in chat right now. Good to see you all. And Brayherd, congratulations. You have won the crown of Firstendom, a crown of apparently drawing 2 cards because we've decided it's Pot of Greed Day. That's all I have to say. Hey, Clutch, good to see you. Hope you're doing well. And congrats to Roxy on the 50 stream streak. And thank you, Kit and Gale, for the 38-month resubs. Thank you very much for the support. Hope you get to feel better soon, Gale. Anyway, it's time for Pokemon. We're going to be playing some Pokemon. Hello? There we go. OBS did not want to switch to Pokemon. You want to be the very best? Well, too bad I'm already there. No, I'm not really. Anyway, this is the TCG, the trading card game version. We're here at the water gym, and I had a thought. I think as a challenge with the deck, we have to keep it Bulbasaur and Friends. So we have to keep Bulbasaur, Ivysaur, and Venusaur, and a general grass theme, but we can switch out what the secondary thing is, so... You have some amazing news. What's that, Clutch? 110-mile winds? I hope that's not the good news. Because here in the water gym, maybe the water Pokemon aren't terribly helpful. Why do the cards have random levels? That's actually to help them stand apart so they can print multiple. So like this is Pikachu level 12 and this is Pikachu level 14. It's a way they can print multiple versions of a Pokemon and easily determine, like in a catalog or a reference database, what level it is. It's actually a really cool little thing. Anyway, we are going to add some Pikachus. Oh, right, you can only have... So even though there are 2 different kinds of Pikachu, you can only have 4 Pikachu. There's a mini Clutch on the way! Aw, it's fantastic! Congratulations! Aw, prayers for a healthy pregnancy and safe delivery. That's fantastic. Yay, babies! I only have 5 lightning energy. This will go interestingly. We did fight both people here in the gym. So now we have to fight her. Oh, no! Hey, stop. Is there a strict area? Amy, the clubmaster, is resting. That person resting over there is Amy, the clubmaster. If you wish to duel Amy, go defeat Sarah and Amanda first. And I will test your skill. And if by chance you should win, I will introduce you to Amy, the clubmaster. What? You defeated Sarah and Amanda? You must be pretty good if you have defeated Sarah and Amanda. As promised, I'll test your skills. If you win, I will introduce you to Amy. Okay, this will be a one-match duel with 4 prizes. That is not the face of the voice I was doing. Give a little Muppet a haircut this morning. Aw.
Ah, the French.
Kit, thank you so much for the gifted sub to Clutch. It's Fat Pikachu. It is. I believe you mean it's real Pikachu. Real Pikachu. This Pikachu doesn't have curves. It is a curve. It is orb. No, not water gun. I'm beginning to think that maybe, just maybe, only having 5 lightning energy in your deck is a bad idea when you're trying to run lightning Pokemon. We'll come back to that. I mean, if I can get some lightning energy, I can take out this Lapras, and it's the only Pokemon he has. Gust of Wind does literally nothing. Oh, bye, Pikachu. Let's play Bulbasaur. Jambler? Yeah! Let's go! Look at that. We got some lightning energies. Ocean. Oh, an Ivysaur. What does Ivysaur do? I'm not going to level up Bulbasaur right now, because if I do this, I can attack this turn, and then I can level him up next turn, and still attack. Or get water gunned. Oh, we're fine. We're golden. We're so good, chat. Oh, he didn't play another Pokemon. We win! We win! This is huge! I'm just so good. What? How could I? What? How could I lose? Mystery booster pack. Pikachu. Gambling for children. Well, they gotta learn sometime. I'll say Execute's pretty good because of what it evolves to. Ninetales is pretty nice. No more electric energy. That's a little awkward. What's the exact title of this Pokemon TCG? Pokemon TCG. That is literally the title. I know that's convoluted, but that is actually the title. It's generally referred to as Pokemon TCG for the Game Boy, but its official title is just Pokemon Trading Card Game. Like, hey, Inka. Pokemon Trading Card Game. can't make this stuff up. Yeah. Oh, don't think you're good just because you defeated me. We still have Amy here at the water club. Amy, please wake up. Huh? What's oh, nap. Well, what? You lost? How could you? Was it Freven? I'll be your next opponent. Hi, Amy, the master of the water club. Would you like to duel Amy? Yes. Okay, a one-match duel with 6 prizes. Let's do it. Go, rain dance. Uh-oh, that means she has Blastoise. This might not be going so well. Womp womp. Can you No. You only get to mulligan if you don't have basic Pokemon to play on, put on the bench. Or at least a basic Pokemon to put in the attacking area. That's okay, I have an energy search. No! Stop playing basic Pokemon. No! Quit destroying my Pokemon! She's cheating, chat. Everything was going fine. That's 3 Squirtles on the bench. We're probably gonna lose this. Order some pizza because these turtles are hungry. I'll let her do that. I'm not going to feed her Pokemon. It's not the right thing. Cool. Teenage Mutant Ninja Squirtles. Kinda hate that that scans. No, we can't get rid of you. Oh no, darn. Oh. Okay, I just need a grass energy. Wow. Wow. The insult. Ah. She's just like, I have this salt. Getting a mana trap? No, there's no mana in this game. Energy trap? Well, it probably wouldn't be so bad if she didn't do energy removal on my double colorless energy. I can't, this isn't like the Schoolyard where you feel like, yeah, my Pikachu's immune to water damage. Anyway, I had a foil Blastoise as a kid, and I saw one at TwitchCon for sale, and it was like $200. So I was like, huh, that's too bad. What's the most expensive card in my MTG collection? I don't want to answer that question. Womp womp. I'm just gonna run away crying. What's the most interesting, coolest card in my collection? Ooh, I do have an unsummon from Alpha. Which has hilarious wording. If you ever go look it up. Anyway, we're going to go to the Science Club, because I bet that's where we can get some more electric energy. Wait, how much fighting energy do I have? I have 8. Ah, that's fine. Nuke Pen is a good spread. That is, and I have all the foil Art Deco alt prints behind me. I really like that. Let's see, who's just like really good in this. Oh yeah, Hitmonchan's really good. Hey, thank you for the lurk, Inca. Machop's pretty good. I get so involved in the Pokemon trading card game, I lose track of time. Is the Pokemon trading card really fun? Yes. Oh, maybe Ishihara? Oh, I wish I could be like him. Please don't disturb me. I'm in the middle of a very important experiment. If I use muck now, this will happen. Oh, he's goldfishing. I don't understand science, but I understand Pokemon cards. I lost. That is a mood and a half. Reverend, it's me, Dr. Mason. I have some information for you about Amy's duck. She's the master of the water club. Her deck uses Rain Dance. Blastoise's Pokemon power. This deck allows her to keep hatching water energy to her water Pokemon to power them up. Her deck's weakness is Lightning Pokemon. I suggest you duel her using the deck from the Psychic Metal Deck Machine. I don't know what that means. Yep, that's the one, Beer Fox. Our card, Ed. Ooh, another double colorless energy. That's pretty good. We research Pokemon cards here at the Science Club, especially science Pokemon cards. What's a science Pokemon? Just asking. Science Pokemon are exceedingly strong. Would you like to duel against my science Pokemon deck? You haven't answered what a science Pokemon is. We'll play for 4 prizes. Let's begin. Science Club member Eric, Poison deck. Wait, Poison? Science Pokemon are strong, aren't you listening? No, generally not. I have a 1 brain cell emoji for a reason. Weedle. Bill. Psychic Deck Machine sounds like a vending machine in the Psychic Club. It does, but I still don't know what that means. Is that like the computer? There's Nidoran on the bench. Please no poison, please no poison. No! Dang it! Yeah, I'm gonna lose Bulbasaur there right away, unfortunately, so that's why I'm not gonna put any energy on it. Kakuna? Kakuna Matata? Wait, why does this thing know something other than Harden? This is cheating. Unfortunately, that's going to die on my turn, on my upkeep. Man, poison is a bit of a problem. No! You can't keep getting away with this! Yeah, I don't think poison ever wears off. Demonstrably he can and is. No, he's gonna kill my Hitmonchan here. This deck is cheating. I need to get some sort of cure. It does if you retreat. Why the heck do I have Machamp in this? Do I have Machoke? Tails, 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 tails! Let's go. Rather be lucky than good. Ooh, Jamble. We Jamble away the Nidorino and the Nidoking? I think we do. I will... no, I won't attach that. Pets, pets, pets! Yeah! Yeah, we got Venusaur. Let's go. I could poison him now. Turnabout is fair play. After all, why shouldn't I? And then Venusaur solved all our problems. A clean sweep back. I can't believe my science Pokemon deck could lose. Ooh, another Nidoking. Another energy. Ooh, energy retrieval. That's good. Wait, I just went right past the fact that we opened Charizard. Like one of the objectively best cards in the original sets. I was just like, oh, cool, Charizard. I must research this further. Okay, yeah, I have Machop into Machamp. I'm kind of missing the Machoke in the middle. So we're gonna not have that around anymore. Maybe we'll put in some Diglett. Energy Search is good because it's basically free energy. Put some energy retrievals as well. I think we can lose these Meowths for a second Genghis Khan, I think. The machine, it's not quite working right. Oh, this is a machine that makes decks. It's much better than Dr. Mason's. Let's see here. Do you want to duel against me? It's a very large machine to make decks, and it looks oddly familiar, like it looks like a Game Boy or something. Huh, weird. Guess I will duel David. Shall we begin with the match? It will be a single match for 4 prizes. Science member David, lovely Nidoran deck. Put Nidoran on. lines. I can't believe he'd cheat like that. That coin toss. Two heads in a row. We know this computer's cheating now. Oh, I didn't realize Diglett had so little health. This could be a problem. Oh, this is a huge problem. Rotata. Happy Feast Day of Candlemas, also known as Presentation of the Lord. Day in it was practice in Jewish custom that you would present your firstborn to God in the temple with a sacrifice, because it's very rooted in the idea that everything comes from God and everything is due back to God, and understanding that your child is part of that, and therefore that's kind of like where the whole idea of tithes comes from, is you returning your child. But obviously, you know, God doesn't want actual child sacrifice, so you symbolically offer the child through the sacrifice of some turtle doves. And for Christ in particular, it's a really beautiful prefiguring of his sacrifice on the cross, presenting himself on our behalf to the Father. So just kind of, there's a lot of beautiful stuff going on with it. It's traditionally a day for religious to renew their vows. Some communities make their vows on this day. It's very rooted in the idea of like following the example of Christ, presenting, or religious presenting themselves, myself included, to God. So, and then it's called Candlemas because we bless candles at it. So there, a little bit longer of a rotata. That's a cool feast day. Fun feast day yesterday? What? Yesterday was just fourth Sunday of Ordinary Time? I can't think of anything. Oh, it was the Feast of St. Bridget. Oh, okay. Sure turned to bathtub. Unite the Light, thank you for the follow. Welcome to the channel. Hope you have a good time. Hey, Jam, good to see you. Romans, hey, good to see you. Thank you for the follow. Welcome on in. Hope you're doing well. Hope everything's going well with getting ready for Reach this coming year. You got great talks lined up? Nice. That's good to hear. This fight could be going better, I'll not lie. Yeah, what was I was I talking about? Oh yeah, St. Bridget. One of the legends surrounding her is that one time she was bathing and said, "Ah, wouldn't it be lovely to have some beer?" And all of the bathwater became beer. Ow. You believe this legend with no hesitation? I mean, ballad. No! Nidoran. What? Right, this is TCG rules, not actual Pokemon rules, so it's going to be immune to this game sometimes. Wait, let's get Grass Energy next turn. We'll Gust of Wind. We'll take out this Nidoran because I do 20 damage, I think. St. Bridget along with St. Arnold of Metz, St. Gambrinus, St. Augustine, St. Luke the Evangelist, and St. Wenceslas are all patrons of beer. Beer. I don't know why he's not attacking. Another job interview. Hey, that's awesome. I hope it goes well. Prayers for you and prayers for wisdom and guidance and saying the right things and that it goes well. Yeah. He won the duel with David. My theory is that the machine's malfunctioning caused it. Uh-huh. Nidoqueen, DCE, nice. Another DCE, also Mew. De-evolution beam is funny. Choose an evolved Pokemon, return the highest stage to that Pokemon to its player's hand. It's like if you're facing something, you bounce their highest layer, and because of the damage, that's it. Hello, K-Max and Raiders. Thank you so much for the raid. Welcome on in. Hope you're doing well. How you doing today, K-Max? What were you up to? We're fighting the science nerds. I've got to fix this machine. Hey, you. Rick is the club master. He's in the middle of an important experiment. You just have time to see someone like you. You really must see him. You must defeat me first. Oh, not too smart, but you've got nerves. We'll play for 4 prizes. In 1 match, I'll let you through. Working on Archipelago stuff is V. And we're on Pokemon Blue. Ooh, you chose the correct color. Now here's the question. Who's your starter? But welcome on in, Raiders. If you don't know who I am Father Evan, Catholic priest, streaming here on Twitch 4 days a week. Look at the intersection of faith and gaming. Looking to have a good time along the way. And apparently have Hitmonchans around. No! Dang it, I forgot normal is resistant to fighting, not weak to it. Old school TCG rules are weird. Shelter was your starter. That's not right. How? Color me confused? Okay, I think I... Nope, I can't punch Zubat. Oh, it's Archipelago. Okay. Thought fighting was weak to Psychic? Yes. But normal is weak to fighting in normal. But TCG, because it only has a few types. I'm gonna build Professor Oak here and hope to get one of my grass Pokemon. I have succeeded. Fairy was in the TCG, yeah, but not when this came out. When this came out, Fairy wasn't even a type in the regular mainline Pokemon games. We're not under any pressure from this Pidgey because it has no energy, so... Okay, now we're maybe in a little bit of pain. No, this is fine. Everything's fine. Everything's great. Get over here, Pidgey. Everything's fine. Everything's great. Statement's preceding disaster. Look, I'm not rearranging deck chairs on the Titanic. Not yet. Unfortunately, truer words have never been spoken. That's some really sick Pidgeot art, and they did a really good job capturing it in the on the Game Boy's resolution, I think is the word I'm looking for. Hurricane. Hurricane Rana? It's a wrestling joke. That is unfortunate. I was hoping to get Nidorann's evolution. Oh, right there. I'm like, I didn't get the thing. Thing is right in front of him. Flying Pikachu! It's so cute. Unfortunately, we will lose our Nidorino here. Next turn, buddy. Next turn. You're getting Comet Punched. Also, that Leech Life is kind of broken because it heals for as much damage as it does. No! Yes! No! No! If I only get one heads, I can't win this race. Oh yeah, the crocheted Pokemon are really cool. Those are really cool and well done cards. I like those. Jeesh! What do you mean you weren't following already, Jeesh? For shame, for shame. No, welcome on in, Jeesh. Good to see you. Hope you're doing well. You heard that note? You heard what notes? I don't know what note you're referring to. You can't summon a core memory like that. Yeah, I can. With my soundboard? Where's the next note, Father Evan? Where's the next note? What next note? All I know, it's one note. It's just a high G on a piano. Heads, 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 heads. Yes! I still don't think we're going to win this. Nope. Okay, we're going to modify our deck here. Because I was like, oh, the science nerds, they're gonna have like electricity. No. Lightning Club, they'll have electricity. Hey, your turn's up. You play the Pokemon trading card game? Yeah, you gotta be a Grandmaster. Yeah, that's me. Hey, kid, I got a level 20 Electabuzz. And I realized a level 35 Electabuzz. Hey, kid, do you have one? Yeah. You're gonna trade me your level 35 Electabuzz? Whoa, way cool, kid. I don't know what the difference is, but promotional card? That's gotta be good. Promo cards are always better. Oh, that kind of honks, actually. Wow, thanks, cool. You're too cool, kid. Dear pesky plumbers, I have kidnapped the princess and have set up Koopalings and came around the hotels. I wonder if the legendary cards are pretty. If they're sparkly, I'll be really happy. I like what happens to Hope when the note goes off. Spontaneous appearance of fingernail polish and eyeliner. It's me, Dr. Mason. How are you doing, Previn? I have some information about Rich's deck. Here's the master of the Science Club. His deck uses Mux toxic gas to prevent your Pokemon from using Pokemon power. Avoid using a deck that relies on Pokemon power to attack. His deck's weakness is Psychic Pokemon. Collect Psychic Pokemon to do with his deck. I suggest you study the deck from the Psychic Metal deck machine. Hopefully it'll be of some assistance. You said that to the last deck, too. Wait, what's the maintenance? Shuffle 2 cards from your hand into your deck in order to draw a card. That seems weird. But also maybe good. Also, look at this art. Behold. Behold. Jean suddenly becoming skinny. Isn't Pikachu totally cute? My heart skips a beat whenever I see those cute little eyes. Hey, do you want to duel my Pikachu deck? Yes. Choose a basic Pokemon to place in the arena. Pikachu, I will end you. That is kind of what this Diglett is saying. Did I get energy retrieval? Nice. Potion? Super potion. She's desperate. She's so desperate, chat. Man, if I had a second fighting energy, though, we could just win. Because we could just do Mud Slap, but alas. Alas and alack. She does not want that Pikachu to Alt F4. I have bad news. Oh, my Pikachu lost! That sentence is grammatically correct because you had one Pikachu. Speaking of Pikachu. Yes, lightning energy. We need that for the other... For the modified deck to go face the water area. Pikachu refuses to evolve into Raichu and Ashigreen. He's like... oh, it's a little too real, Beer Fox. You have to take care of your Pokemon cards. That's why I sleeved them. I wonder what Isaac's doing. What? A Pokemon trading card duel? I'll be glad to duel anytime. There's kind of a distinct lack of a certain type of energy, but I think it'll be fine. Put the DCE on the Ivysaur. What's Recycle do again? Oh, right. I don't want that thing self-destructing. Actually, no, I do, because it's the only Pokemon on the bench. It would kind of be perfect if it's self-destructed. I'm not going to level that up yet, though. Because if I do that, then it can't attack. We are getting some very unfortunate draws. Ow! I did not approve this chain lightning attack on my units. Thank you. Doesn't matter what the error, the format, or the cards are electrons or cardboard. Bad draws will happen. No, that can't be right. I've never had a bad draw in my life. Never. It could never happen to me. After all, why shouldn't I? So I have options. I might just retreat. And get in with Hitmonchan's jab. It's 1-2. What do you mean resist? I thought it was weak. It's lightning. Chat, I misread the card. Chat, everything is going terribly. You know who I blame?
Ah, the French.
Reading the card explains the card. Yeah, but okay. I saw weakness. I saw the the fist symbol, I was like, great. Golden. 10 out of 10. I did read the card. I just read the card poorly. I misread. I'm human, okay? No! My gambling has betrayed me. The range cell was shared 3-way. Yeah. What are all these lines of text on Questing Beast? Questing Beast. 2 green, legendary creature beast. Vigilance, haste. Is it Death Touch or Trample? I can never remember which one. I want to say it's Death Touch. Cannot be blocked by creatures with power 2 or less. It's a 4/4. When you deal combat damage to a player, deal that much combat damage to a planeswalker that player controls. It has one more line because it's all 4s all the way down. Combat damage can't be prevented. That's right. I feel like I did pretty well, though. If they get one more energy, we just lose, though. Oh, you play against for the first time Saturday? It is Death Touch. That's what I thought, and that's what I said. Yeah, I'm gonna save this Gust because I'm not feeling like a ton of pressure right now from this Jolteon. But if they play out this Electabuzz, because I think it has, well, it probably has 60 HP, so it's fine. But nope, they played out Eevee. See, but this is... Hey. Questing Beast. True Name Nemesis isn't a 4-drop. It's a 3-drop. Also, we won. Oh, shoot. We're lost. Well, no sense crying over spilled milk. Electabuzz. Ooh, Oak. Lightning Energy, nice. Okay, what have we got going on here? I'd like Ooh, Bill. Didn't know we got another Bill. I don't mind getting rid of energy retrieval at this point. Oh, what? But I did want to... I think we'll remove one grass energy in favor of a second double colorless. I don't want too much double colorless right now. So we don't have a ton of things that need it, but we have some things that can utilize it. Lightning Pokemon can attack their opponent's bench. Lightning Pokemon are the toughest Pokemon. No, they're objectively not. How bad? You want to duel me? Yes. Okay, let's start. Yeah, that's the kind of haircut I'd expect from a kid hanging around in the electricity gym. Boom, boom, self-destruct. Sir, don't think you're allowed to name your deck that. So, by the way, chat, thanks to everyone who's followed the channel. We have hit over 600 followers at this point. I have decided that this Saturday is not actually a good day to do the bonus stream. So we're actually going to be moving it back to Friday the 13th. Ooh, spooky. But that'll actually allow us to also make it longer. So we will be doing Donkey Kong 64 with crowd control. I think I have crowd control working. Bill. Well, leveling didn't start in Lorwyn. Leveling started in original Zendikar, but yeah, I guess they brought it back. Oh well, no, there's a different kind of leveling, like Spirit of Destiny, that Lorwyn does. Get jabbed. Oh, we just win. Look at this. So easy. You didn't like the new one? I haven't really had a chance to look at it. I've heard people liking it, though, so... My lightning deck lost! I can't believe it! In the immortal words of Naruto, yes, this is true. I'll lose next time. Okay, well. Well, to do it, it was hard work, but here's our stage. Got to keep it looking smart. I'm the Lightning Club Master. Sure, I'll duel you. Sparks will fly at this heated battle. I'll show you what my Lightning Pokemon deck can do. Anyway, I thought I should match him. Wow. No one has basic Pokemon in their hands. Let's quit. We both win. My choice is Eevee, Eevee, or Eevee. I think I'll go with Eevee. Bolt play, I know. Oh, he oaken. No! How could you do this to me? Well, I may as well use this potion, even though it's only going to heal 10, because I'm going to Professor Oak here. Wow. Well, I did get an energy search, so that's like drawing the energy I wanted. Yeah, Bill. Wait, is Magnemite gonna be immune to fighting? No, it's weak to it. Great. Okay. I don't think I need to Jamble yet. Please, no paralysis. Yes! Triple sliver. That would be amazing. Oh, 2 oaks in my hand at once. That's 2 oaks for the... Or really, it's 1 oak for the cost of 2. Oh no, I have Gambler in my hand. That's what I have. Start putting more energy on Hitmonchan so we can do Special Jab. Oh no, not tackle. Legally distinct hobbits. It's like in Ultima where they're bobbits. Oh, this could actually be a problem, chat. Oh, it's weak to... Why is this one weak to fighting, but the... whatever. Although I could also just... Gust of Wind. Yeah! Hitmonchan was the real MVP there. How did my lightning deck lose? How shocking. Here, take this lightning medal as proof of defeating me. Yay, we got our second medal. So I can take these off. And here, take this booster pack too. I'm going to polish my card skills, so come to duel again. Oh no, oh no, oh no, oh no, oh no, I forgot. We have to fight Ronald. Hi, Brevin, how you doing? So you won the second duel, you must have been really lucky. I'll see how good you really are. Come on, let's do it. Pray for 6 prizes. If you win, I'll give you a really rare card. Shut up, Ronald. It's McDonald time. But he's blue. Okay, so... I think I'm gonna get the Bulbasaur line going. We'll wait a turn to Oak. Man, I don't want to throw this double Carlos energy away, but everything else in our hand kind of meh. Oh, we're gonna jamble. I'm jambling on can Father Evan beat this guy? Our contractually obligated rival. Glebe. Never not punished. Can you? Yes. Will you? We'll see. Hey, Infinite. Okay, well. Okay, that's actually kind of huge. Because that would let me switch out to Hitmonchan. How many Jambles is this bed without a tails? We did get one. We got one. Okay, well, this Bulbasaur is now ready for whenever we get Ivysaur and Venusaur. It's just like, yeah, I'm ready to go. Sign me up. Solar Beam. Hey there, Hope. Circumvent Defender. Yep, exactly. Yeah, I was on the fence between Cubone and Charmander, but Cubone I can take down in 2 turns. Charmander will take 3. But yeah, definitely getting around Defender. Let's hope we don't deck out. Nah, it would never happen. Because now I can take down Charmander in 2 turns. Yeah, War Turtle's a bit of a problem. I have Thoracle? How did I get Thoracle into a digital card game of a completely different game approximately 25 years before Thoracle was even printed? How? I don't know. I'm just really good, I guess. Blue player shenanigans. Blue players, we're so meta that we play beyond the game. Yeah, well, he has withdraw active, so I don't care. Fire it! This War Turtle has fire, water, and fighting energy. Honestly, I kind of hope I deck myself here. That'd be hilarious. No. Yes. Yes. Yeah. That's not good. That's very bad news for us. Okay, I really need to find an Ivysaur. That's not an Ivysaur. Okay, he doesn't have enough energy to bite. He has enough energy to bite. Chat, I'm beginning to think that putting all of my eggs into one basket was a bad idea. It's so true. No, it's not gonna be fine, K-Max, because a jab here. This gets knocked out. I'm out of cards. Like, that is an essential part of this equation. That card doesn't exist yet. See what I tell you. It was luck, wasn't it? Now you know better than to try and win the medals. See ya. You're kind of a jerk. I don't think I want Raichu, to be honest. This Electabuzz is fine. And... I don't need Eevees if I'm not going to have anything to evolve into an Eevee, so... Hoi Bree! Your wife must be amazing. That or a Haxor. 4K no Los Dos. No, gotta earn those candy spins. I'm gonna take the candy spins away for Lent. Aren't you Freven? So you've decided you want to duel me? One match duel with 6 prizes. Let's do it. Saving up for 6 spins while you have some time over Lent. Speaking of a candy spin. We can't do that. I'm out of those. And I'm not replacing them. I don't think they were good enough to bring back. Where were those chili sour chew buds? It's time for the whoa candy. I think this is also a permanent on the wheel. Not the sour ones, just the regular ones. Why? I don't think pepper and licorice are flavors that should go together. Salt and licorice? Maybe. I'm not a huge fan of it, but the pepper. Woo. Whoa, it's just so much flavor all at once. Yeah, don't paralyze me. What was your favorite part of that candy? I mean, you're allowed to, but... Did I just take a trip to Flavor Town? No. No, this is more like a suburb of Flavor Town. Yeah, extra damage, let's go. It tastes hollow. I don't know how to describe that, but it just makes my brain think hollow when I'm tasting it. Super energy removal. Wait, what? Oh. Retreat cost is 2. You love describing flavors as vibes. Like some chocolate pastries sticks you got for Christmas that taste like Walmart. Wow. Oh, wow. And the worst part is I can kind of... I kind of know what you're talking about. This tastes like a mop. Like... you stick some ammonia in some water and you put a mop in it. That's what this tastes like. This tastes like what that feels like. Should I have chocolate Necco wafers on the wheel? No, I like those. I love Necco wafers. They're legit like one of my favorite candies. And I like the chocolate ones. I actually prefer the regular, which do have chocolate in them, but I don't mind the chocolate ones at all. I like them. Like, if you were to hand me a thing of Necco wafers chocolate flavor, I'd be like, okay. Whoa! Now I'm at the true whoa center of this. Oh, my bench is full. Why did I attach an energy there? Wait, did I attach an energy there? I don't even remember now. I did. Okay. I did a thing I shouldn't have done, but oh well. After this fight, we'll take our commercial break. Please no paralysis. Yes! Hey! She had no Pokemon on the bench. I didn't even notice that. Oh no, I lost! Well, since I lost, you can have this water medal. This should get you a step closer to inheriting the legendary cards. It's a fish! Here, you should also have these. They should come in handy. Last, you and your opponent show each other your hands, then shuffle all the trainer cards from them into your decks. No! Why? What? Okay, what is grammar root 2? Psychic. Okay, so our next subtype will be Psychic. Because then we can go defeat the Science Gym. How's it going, Fremen? It's me, Dr. Mason. I have some information about Isaac's deck. He's the master of the Lightning Club. Yeah, we are... I don't... Dr. Mason, I already did. Did you find the Pokemon you were looking for in the booster pack? That's really Dr. Mason. Looks like you've won quite a few medals. Want to try building your own deck? Start by changing some of the cards in your present deck. I know how to do that, Dr. Mason. I'm sorry. Another Hitmonchan. Nice. All right, let's take our commercial break. Hilarious that all these leaders are not fighting for the legendary cards. Look, they've got other things to, you know, not everyone needs to be fighting for the legendary cards. But others, you know, just some people just want to chill. That's how I'd be in a Pokemon world. Be like, oh, you want to be a trainer? You want to go defeat your Elite Four? That's nice. I'm gonna go do some gardening with my Squirtle. Anyway, we're going to take our commercial break, so don't go anywhere. We'll be back in about 3-ish minutes. But take a chance to get a drink of water, stand up, stretch your legs, do what you need to do. We'll be right back. And we are back just as the screen goes dark. Okay, so let's go back to the science club. How much psychic energy do I even have? I have 8. Oh, excuse me. 8? That's fine. Let's see what we have. Abra! That actually knows something. Damage swap. As often as you'd like during your turn, before your attack, you may move one damage counter from one of your Pokemon to another as long as you don't know. As long as you don't knock out that Pokemon. That could actually be really useful. Have something like a Kangaskhan to be like a damage sponge. We only have the one, but... Ten times number of energy cards attached. Wait, to the defending Pokemon? Yeah! Let's go retry this fight. You! I want a rematch. No. I can still taste the Turkish pepper. Fetch! Hey, DC, that's huge, actually. That puts us close to, getting to do the thing for, Kangaskhan. I know words. I know many words. I'm just not good at them. Strabbing is hard. Ah, you fool, you played right into my hand. For now, I shall Comet Punch. No! Yes! No! Yes! We win! That went a lot easier this time. Turns out, if your opponent doesn't have Pokemon, hey, I lost. Since I promised I have to let you through. And take this. You buster, Professor. I always thought this art as a kid was so cool. Make your opponent shuffle, which can actually be pretty useful. They have a full hand. You'd be like, those things you've searched for, never mind. Another Jambler? Rick's in the middle of an experiment, so don't bother him too much. I am Rick, the master of the science club. Science rules nature. That is the way. That is why it is so strong. Do you wish to test your strengths of science by playing against me? Is this like a science rap? Look how tiny his hand is. His hand is like proportionally, it's like I have a tiny hand holding this the speaker. Yeah. Why is it so tiny? Why is it so tiny, chat? There are no basic Pokemon in Rick's hands. Okay. Again? His fingers are the width of his mouth. Yeah, but no, it's tiny. He has a tiny. He's like. The Alakazam is nice, but I really need some other basics, so... But that's okay, I'm really good at jambling. I've got a handful of 4 drops and 3 lands. You better be aggro. My Abra is now weak to grass. I forgot how weird Porygon is. I know I won't do damage, but if I can paralyze it. A man-made Pokemon? Weird. Yeah, but, like, this card especially, like, it's an actual printed card. So, like, if you do the things, it's like... It's hard to keep track of. Wow. Problem is now it's probably gonna make itself resistant to psychic. You were already resistant to psychic. Bruh's being weird. Double resistant? Not to my fist. Mewtwo? But I have Mew. He has Mewtwo? Sequel's never as good as the original. That's also objectively not true. I made a joke, but then realized it would be inappropriate. So I told everyone about the joke I made. You say that to your wife all the time. Put your foot in the mouth. Never seen tell my wife about my foot. Honey, come look at my foot. It's in my mouth. Mel places one card face down. Have we just activated your trap card? We did. Uh-oh. That's your call out when you place a trap in Monster Hunter. That's great. Look at his hand. His hand is tiny. Because, like, that's his thumb on the other side. It's free meal estate. Ah, that's great. I can't believe they would do this to me, and me specifically. They have paralyzed my Genghis Khan. This is the worst fate. I'm just gonna say dig up, Beer Fox. Dig up. Okay, so that has all the energy it needs. So we'll put some energy on Ivysaur, because why not? Eins, zwei, drei, vier! Und... This is a problem. This is a huge problem. But isn't that big of a problem because... What? One damage counter from one of your Pokemon to another as long as it doesn't knock out that Pokemon. Asleep, confused, or paralyzed. Oh. Toxic gas. It's Pokemon power. Can't do Pokemon powers. Boo! That's okay. We solved that problem. Now we have to solve this problem. Now I should be able to use it. Oh my goodness, look at how complicated this is. And this is all I'm doing. Damage sync is cool, especially when hurt by poison. Our poison. Okay, so long as we flip one heads, we win. We win. We're in there. Times, problems, even science cannot answer. Here, take this medal. It is a result of our research. Ah, yes. The skull. A monster skull. A well-known symbol of science. And let me give you this. Please add this to your collection. Ooh, Hitmonlee. Not nearly as good as Hitmonchan, unfortunately. Legendary cards are but a legend. Science is the only truth. No, we know that the legendary cards are real, bro. Like, I must continue my research of science Pokemon. Science is clearly death. Okay, so I'd like to there we go. Okay. So we need the fire, the psychic, the grass, and the fighting. The fighting has his dudes hiding out in other places. So where do we go next, chat? Do we go to fire, psychic, grass? Fire, psychic, or grass? They use science to make a metal. Grass, fire. The psychic. Well, the psychic. Well, Mel technically got answered first, so I guess we're going to Psychic. We also have 2 votes for Psychic. Oh, 3 votes for Psychic. That's still overpowered in this? Probably. Wait, you also want the legendary Pokemon cards? I want them too, but I'm not quite good enough. Hey, Brevin. So you finally come this far. I've already won 5 medals. By the time you win your 8th medal, I will have inherited the legendary Pokemon cards. I'll catch you later. Hi, I'm Robert, a member of the Psychic Club. My ghost deck is really strong. It doesn't have any weaknesses. It's difficult for opponents' attacks to cause damage. Would you like to duel me? Oh, man, you're boring. I think we need to step foot in there. And now we should have mail about the Psychic. Nope. Or we already got the mail about the Psychic, dude. What is Psychic weak to in this? Used to be Ghost. The problem is that Ghost also covers Psychic. It looks like some of these are also just weak to Psychic. Ghost has any... the Ghost Pokemon don't appear to have a weakness. And everything else appears to be Psychic. So why don't we just stick with Psychic? What we have going on. I actually meant to remove Meowth and sure, and energy. We've got enough energy search stuff. Cover all my bases. Use Mew. I do have a Mew in this deck right now. Yes, Robert. We met just like 2 minutes ago. Scalio. You know, chubby cheek. Well, I guess we're playing Nidoran. Heads, heads, heads. No! Recycle. Abra might be our best bet. It's either Abra or Drowsy. What does Drowsy do? Pound, Confuse Ray. Just grab Drowsy. No! Ah, that's not... I didn't mean to do that. I meant to apply the psychic energy to Drowsy. Fortunately, I have another, but... Ditto is resistant to Psychic type? Why did... What if we never did that? Actually, it doesn't really matter, because he's going to use Pound here, and then we're going to lose our Nidoran. We're going to play out Drowsy, and Drowsy's not going to be able to do anything. I can't help but feel like we got a really bad opening hand, which sometimes in Pokemon TCG is just like all you need to ruin your day. The blob that can change its biology into anything it sees. Very normal. Yep. Cromulently normal. We're gonna lose anyway. It's ice cream, but without flavor. So when you put a topping on it, it becomes the flavor. Don't think that's how ice cream works. Type yes. I feel good about our deck. I just think we got really unlucky. None type. Type null. Ow, my poor Abra. Bill. I do like that Abra has a 0 retreat cost. Missing no. Never didn't have it. I'm kind of okay with Professor Oak here. I don't want to evolve this into Nidorino right now, because then it won't be able to attack. Gas laser acting, you're holding just a look of disproof, like, oh. If it transfers with Ghost Pokemon, does it die? Oh, no. I think it just has a near-death experience. So if an Ivysaur or Mew... I really need... Well, I could put this Psychic Energy on Nidoran and then do the one attack. No! Boo. That's bad, Gale. Next turn after we evolve into Alakazam, I'll probably Jamble. The next essential question: if a creature can assume the entire form of another creature, form there's zero animation to say. Sometimes there are questions that get raised by Pokemon that we were not meant to ask. How could my ghost deck lose? Golem's just on its side. Asheville Pikachu to Ghastly. Oh no. Oh, that's hilarious. Pokemon cards are the ultimate cards. Everyone wants to inherit the legendary cards. That's why you play against so many different people. I just lost a duel, so I can't play right now. You've won quite a few medals. Okay, let's duel. That's right, we've been here before, but this person was like, I won't duel you. You haven't won enough medals. I see the future. You will lose. Yeah, I'll lose eventually. There are some existential questions being raised in chat that are just really making me re-question all of Pokemon, and it's terrifying. Bill, into Bill! I'm storming out, chat. That's an odd rabbit hole to go down. But everyone needs a hobby. Wait. Pokeball. Yes! Where is our Venusaur? I'd have been so upset if it was prized. No, I think the hobby is the rabbit hole investigation. If the hobby is cannibalism, that's a problem. gonna do 20 damage. Why is this doing 0 damage? I'm confused. Whenever an attack, including your own, does 30 or more damage to Mr. Mime, prevent that damage. So I need to do low-powered attacks? Yeah, it's weird. Well, I guess Abra's gonna have to get in there. It is weak to Psychic, but this only does 10, so I would do 20. Oh, I thought I had an energy search. Oh, that's gonna be a problem. I guess my best bet, weirdly enough, is to use Genghis Khan and hope I only get one. Flip. Okay, all tails. All tails. No! Ah. I mean, Nidoking's toxic, but that's 3 energy away. I really need... I need the gust of wind. Yo. Lickitung, that's a problem. That Lickitung is a problem. It was like the definition of keeping things on lockdown. Come on, what hits? Yes! We actually did some damage! Okay, this is fine. Look, I don't care if she uses a potion. We still technically did damage. She has 2 Mews. That feels wrong. Have I caught them all? I've caught all the feelings. Anger, joy, frustration, sadness. Whoa. I mostly know what might be termed negative emotions. Also, I am rapidly running out of deck to use. I don't want to use this Professor Oak because, I have 6 cards left in my deck. Uh-oh, has Beer Fox caught the Pokemon, rabbit hole, bug? No! Oh, okay, you're gonna remove some psychic energy from there, I don't care. I do care about you paralyzing me, though. Okay, you removed that. Where did they remove that psychic energy from? Oh, whatever. You think I may be doomed? I have a slim chance. I just have to not get paralyzed. There we go. Ghost Pokemon understanding the ontological issues of the world. Like, the ontological issues of the Pokemon world, or the ontological issues of our world? That's a different Mew. It's gonna do 50 damage. That's a lot of damage. But Gust of Wind really doesn't matter because everything will take the same amount of damage. Step 0, you were a doubter. But congratulations to those who believed. I can't believe my prediction was wrong. I can. Oh, look, we got Mewtwo. Let's like do 10 damage plus 10 damage for each energy card attached to Pokemon. Okay. Shame there was no jambling. Yeah, there was. K-Max jambled. Another Mewtwo. I see a vision. You're dueling me again. No, really not. Hi, I'm Murray, master of the Psychic Club. You're the one who's visiting clubs to win those medals. How do I know this? Because I'm psychic! Okay, let me test the new card strategy against your deck. You ready? I just like the idea of Murray just being like, kind of Weird Al levels of positive and chipper. When you duel me, it's for 6 prizes. Shall we start then? There's no gambling if every bet goes the same way. That's not true, because you can still potentially lose. Just because there's no one else gambling on the other side of the equation doesn't mean that it's not gambling. It just means that points will have gone into the abyss. Oh, Genghis Khan. That's a problem. In like 3 years. Wait, here's our plan. We deck him. Chansey? What kind of psychic deck is this? Energy removal? Sir. I'm so good at jambling. Here's my Abra. Yeah, I don't mind doing Oak here. Some Oak shenanigans. Got Alakazam, it's pretty nice. Wow. Scrunch? Chat, he's playing Control. This is disgusting. I should be playing it. What's wrong with playing Control? It's only a problem when I'm not playing it. Someone else doing it to me. Me playing against the blue deck. Is this what I've been doing to people this entire time? Is there control in Pokemon, or is it just stalling? I mean, that is control in Pokemon. Azorius only I play. No, Grixis only I play. Oh no, I have been boosted. Oh no, I'm paralysis. The paralyzed chat. I can't talk right. Okay, the fact that I'm not paralyzed here is huge because now I'm gonna do 40 damage. Which will actually be, or sorry, 60 damage. Or 30 damage, which will become 60. Wow. Words and hard. Well, it's been nice knowing you, Mew. We'll see you in Pokemon Snap up in the clouds. That Kangaskhan is back on the escalator. Man, if I had Venusaur right now, this would just be like... Knowing my luck. No! Wait. Was that retrieval or removal? Oh, no, it was removal. But it's fine. Let's take a quick look. Okay. Bulbasaur, or Venusaur is prized. That's actually a problem. Spoon guy! Hey, Trekkie. Wonder if there's Thoracle-based commander deck? Dude, it's like one of the primary strats in CEDH. Like, it's almost on the banned list of how prevalent it's used. Like, that's within CEDH circles, but CEDH is its own special beast. Yes! Yes! Snorlax did allow your opponent's Pokemon to retreat. No, this Snorlax can't be confused, paralyzed, or poisoned. Or are you talking about in the more modern control version? I have 3 level 2 Pokemon in play at once. I feel like that's an accomplishment. Fire. Zerp. I do not want to use these bills because checks deck. Actually, I have 17 cards in my deck. I'll use these bills. Oh, can I recycle this bill? Nope. That would have been pretty funny. Bill into bill into bill. Yeah, we just need 2 attacks. And given that it's Genghis Khan, I have a good feeling. Or, actually, see if anything... Oh, yeah. Let's gust of wind out an Abra. That actually went really well. Huh, I lost. I lost? Well, you must be pretty good if you're trying to inherit the legendary Pokemon cards. Here, take this Psychic Medal. Hey, here, take this Laboratory Booster Pack. Yeah, I'll be waiting. Okay, well. No! Hey, Brevin, if you got any better. Harry went the 6th medal. Let's see how much better you've gotten. If you win, I'll give you another rare card. You didn't give me a rare card in the first place because I lost. Come on, let's do it. Powerful Ronald's deck. Psychic Metal. He was using Snorlax and Genghis Khan. Look, the card pool was a little thin. Hey, thank you for the lurk, Trekkie. Oh, how could I lose a coin flip on this, the day of my daughter's quinceañera? Goodbye, Nidoran. You did nothing. Ow! That was a lot of damage. Dang it. Ah. Man, his deck is just all over the place. Gonna gust out this Mewtwo. Could really use a an oak here. Go, damn it, sponge. Oh, that is just hateful. Have Mew and Bulbasaur in play. I don't want to Oak again quite yet, because I do still have 2 energy. Second DCE there is pretty huge, actually. So now we can Comet Punch. Jambler. Ooh, this is gonna hurt. I am so good at jambling in this game. Have you noticed how many jambles I have won? Unfortunately, that will knock out our Kangaskhan. So I think we'll put Nidorino in, because I can evolve into Nidoking. Oh, I thought I had Nidoking in hand. I do not. Your next section should be Goif. Goif. That used to be a really powerful, or considered a really powerful card. And now it's just kind of considered fine. It's funny how things change. Hey, there's Nidoking. Okay, so if our Nidorino doesn't die here, which it probably will, unfortunately, to Jinx. Or not. It's gonna live. No, it's weak. Never mind. It's gonna die. I don't even have enough grass energies left to power up Venusaur here. That's a problem. Such a roller coaster of emotions. I know. We flew so far. We got so far, but in the end, did it even matter? So what do we put back on top? I'm honestly of the opinion it might just be double colorless energy. Put on our other Kangaskhan. Kadabra may have been a good play, too. I'm gonna do something crazy. Okay, that got us our last... energy that we need. Professor Oak again. That would be crazy. Besides, we lose. Disappointing. Heh, you're not even half as good as I am. There's no way you'll be able to inherit legendary cards and just give up. Look, you have like a really cracked deck, I'm not gonna lie. So we have fire, grass. Oh, we still have to find the fighting guy. I haven't seen a single fighting person anyway. They're supposed to be, like, around at the different gyms. There's supposed to be 3 of them. There's one, finally. But I think this is actually where we're going to call it for the day. I think that's a good endpoint. The Rock Club. There's no Rock Club. Or we've already defeated the Rock Club. Anyway, we got 4 of the medals today. That's pretty huge. That feels like good progress. But I think, yeah, I think that's where we're going to call it for the day. Because it's almost time to wrap up anyway. So thank you so much for tuning in to Let Us Play. I've been your host, Father Evan. It's been good to be with you all today, and I hope you have a great rest of your day. Join us again tomorrow. We're going to be playing Green Ember, Helmer in the Dragon's Tomb, something tomb. Tuesday, or that is Tuesday. Wednesday, midweek Minecraft, working on the church. I've decided we need buttresses. The church needs buttresses, so I designed a buttress. You'll see it on Wednesday. I think it'll look really cool. Thursday, Super Mario World for the Super Nintendo. Just classic. Yeah, so thank you to everyone who's liked, followed, subscribed, given bits, all that good jazz. Thank you for checking out the YouTube and the Discord. And again, bonus stream for reaching 600 followers a week from Friday the 13th. Dun, dun, dun. I should add that as a sound effect to the soundboard. Anyway, or a lightning strike. Why not both? Anyway, we'll figure that out. But yeah, thank you to everyone. Let's see who's live that we can raid into. No time bonus stream. TBD. Probably the afternoon, like 1 or 2 to 6ish. So, anyway, gonna send you over to Gibbet the Frog. He's a fun PNG tuber. Playing some Resident Evil 7. Raid call is Father Raid. Use those emotes. But go give Gibbet some love. He's a fun guy. I think that's everything. So, yeah, again, thank you to everyone for being here today. Hope you have a great rest of your day. Take care, and God bless.